What's up, everyone? Game Player episode 28. Gonna have a great show for you. But before we start, we're missing a few people. Kay can't make it. She's watching Sonic 2 with her kid. Well, have fun, enjoy. I love Sonic. I'm definitely gonna watch Sonic 2 later. And Nate is on his way. And Morgan, yeah, we will see if she come on now. Before we start, Ghost, how you been and what you been playing?
Oh man, what's up, everybody? Go to Del 55. Uh, I have been doing really well. I was sick for about a week and a half, and so I beat Elden Ring. I'm currently now in New Game Plus, just kind of going through it. But I am just kind of getting back into the swing of things. Um, I bought myself a new toy, and so I've been kind of just enjoying that. Me and my wife's been taking a lot of road trips, and so
You told me what the new toy is. I had to double check
yeah,
if it's now in game or real life.
yeah. Well, I treated myself, and so I won't say over air what I bought. But anyone that knows me knows that I'm a car enthusiast, and so I finally got off the waiting list. So that's all I'm gonna say. But really just enjoying Elden Ring, man. Just what I'm saying, and going through all that it's got, you know, in its entail.
Gotcha, gotcha. Morgan, how are you? What you been playing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Basically, I've been playing Star Wars, the Lego Star Wars game, and I've also been playing Ghostwire Tokyo.
Gotcha. How far are you on Ghostwire?
Um, I am on chapter 4, I believe. It's pretty good so far. I'm really enjoying it.
So, you're enjoying it? Did the combat become tedious yet?
Um, some parts of it, but I guess after I got all the powers, the fire, water, wind, it can get a little tedious, but I think the story is helping to um, keep me interested. I really want to see what happens. So,
Gotcha. Um, Weeb, how are you? What you been playing?
I am good. I'm yeah. I've played a lot and not a lot. I haven't been gaming a lot this week, but I've played a little bit of everything. Uh, what's it called? Animutantonium, Kirby. Uh, Played a little bit of co-op with uh, Resogun and Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Um, so yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. As for me, I've been playing Valkyrie Chronicle. I finished Ghostwire Tokyo. A 7 out of 10, I would give it. Uh, it got a good concept, but um, I gotta ask you, Weeb, when you have to summon the Tengu, did it work for you in the air or was it tedious?
It did work, but it's not very intuitive.
yeah, it's very tedious. Like,
It's
I
tedious,
unlocked that
yeah?
ability, and it works when it wants to work. Like, aiming for the roof, trying to summon one.
Exactly. That's what I was like, what the hell? This is
I
one
thought
of
it
the.
was broken when I initially got it because I was like, okay, how do I use this?
I
Hmm.
thought it was broken as well. Like, what the hell? That's one
Hmm.
of the worst
Yeah,
mechanic I have ever interacted with.
it really is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm just like, I need to get on this roof, but I have
You
to
know,
like hit it at a certain angle in order for the tango to pop up. And I'm just like, oh my god, like I could have just found another way in the time it takes me to get one to pop up on the roof.
you know what the crazy part is? Sometimes it doesn't. is sometimes you're better off catching one that's literally never
Already, yeah.
that's already summoned.
Yep.
Like, why is a summoned one capable of being grabbed, but when you summon yourself, you can't even summon one? It's
Yeah, I don't know.
so
It took a lot of scavenging and collecting for me to get everything I needed to unlock that ability, and I was kind of mad
me
that
too.
it.
It's like it
I was
didn't
like, dang, I used up all my stuff to get this, and it's not
exactly
very
like
good.
you need to sacrifice a lot to get it. You need to
Yeah.
do shit ton of side quests, and
Uh huh.
at first I enjoyed the side quest, but when they started giving you side quests and then you unlock the ability to see the actual monsters, yokais, I'm like, that's basically me doing the same quest all over again, but just
Hmm.
for without a side quest, which again it I'm like, why? I literally hunted the kappa. I destroyed the kappa. Why must I see the kappa all over again? It's like they had a good concept to it, but
Yeah.
they didn't know what to do next.
Yeah, I
And
can
then
tell that skill tree needed a little tightening up. I was just like, oh,
and the same
yeah.
thing and the same thing goes actually to the combat itself. It's like when uh, there is only one boss I can say that was unique. It was the boss, the second real boss, when you need to fight without your power.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was the only unique boss out of the entire game for me. Even
Hmm.
the last boss fell flat. It's like you had a great concept. When I had, and again, some enemies have the ability to remove your powers. That's nice, but most of the time they'd be dead before they even try that.
Yeah.
It's like, would this game have been better if it's not open world?
Um, I don't know, because I mean, they did a really good job with Japan with Tokyo in
Yeah, they did.
particular. I really like it. Um, it looks fantastic. But
The the dual sense
oh my gosh, the DualSense goes off like crazy in that game. I love it.
made it go real. You feel it, but
Yeah,
at the end, at the
I
same
love it.
time, made it go. It's disappointing how the game became at the end. Uh, it's so especially if you wanna collect every single soul, it's so tedious because they give you that armband and it doesn't even work most of the time.
Yeah, there are a lot of souls. I didn't understand how much until like I finally got the trophy for getting like half of them. I'm like, damn, I only got half.
I have 17. I am at 79, and I don't have no idea where to find the rest. And
Yeah.
I ran through the entire map.
What are you talking about? The bracelet does work.
Huh?
The bracelet does work.
I. What did you say?
The bracelet does work.
Yeah, it points you in the direction of the next ghost.
I did.
I haven't gotten that one.
I used it, but it's not helping because there is no ghost. There is no visible ghost anymore. I literally ran through the entire map, every single place. I went through every single shrine.
Did
It's tedious.
did you return underground?
I did every underground ghost. I think the one where you got where you lose your powers. I went there and I did them. There is no other underground. I have done every single underground. It's such a
Did
shame.
you run into the parade?
Maybe I will look it up, but I'm not gonna waste my time with the trophy now because I got other games to play. Like I wanna buy. I wanna buy.
We
I'm.
said nah.
I would rather play games than hunt for trophies. If I'm being honest. Like I got Nobody Saves the World. I want to buy that game,
You need to
and
play Elder Scrolls. I mean, not Elder Scrolls, but Elden Ring.
and of Elden Ring I need to start, but I'm waiting on that. I want to buy what's called Odin Sphere is on discount right now for 14 euro, so I'm buying
Oh,
that.
get that one.
I'm grabbing both Odin Sphere and Nobody Saves the World. But yeah, Nate, how are you? What you been playing?
I'm good. Um, no, honestly, I'm kind of the same way. Like we've said, I haven't been playing a lot lately. But I'm back and forth with Gran Turismo. Um, trying to finish up some trophies in Tiny Tina, and I was playing uh the Star Wars Lego game with Morgan. So yeah, that's like the main stuff that I've been playing lately.
Gotcha.
And I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Mm, the first topic is going to be, oh boy, I'm gonna rant about this one. Uh, so no, it's not a rant. Basically, no code. Cory Borlock came out and said that. So basically, this is 1 year, and I forgot how many year anniversary for God of War, and people were mad expecting a new something, and PlayStation acknowledged that, and they came out with a video from Cory Barlog that despite the fact that he is no longer working on the project, let us think in just how much what's called gravita and also power that man have.
I don't think he's not working on it. He's
He
not
is not
directing it.
working on it. He is not working. He is working on his own
He,
project.
yeah,
No,
I
he's
know,
still
but
helping.
he's working on it. He's a producer. He's
Yeah,
not
he's just not
directing it.
directing it.
Wait,
Yeah,
he is the producer for God of War?
yeah, he's still
One
on to
of.
help.
No, I
Even
thought.
though he's working on his own, directing on his own, he's still there helping. He's just not directing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So he came out with a video thanking the fans, the normal, respectful one, and then he said that they are working, and when they have something new to say, they're gonna show us. Which prompt another person, I forgot which one it is, um, a developer at Santa Monica to come out and reiterate that this game is coming this year. And that one it started to give me that Game Pass effect. What I mean by that is this: if Game Pass is that great, why do you keep advertise it? Why do you keep sell it for $1? So with this whole person, basically a PlayStation developer on Santa Monica comes out and reiterate that the game is coming out this year. If it's really coming out this year, why are you keep saying that? Why not let the trailer speak for itself? I don't know. Am I the only one that seeing it's like almost like there's a doubt? The more people they saying about something, the more you know it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna start with you, Nate. Okay, Morgan.
To be fair, that developer who said that Ragnarok is coming out that year was answering a question somebody asked. He didn't directly post that. He was Somebody asked him like, "Hey, is God of War still on track for 2022?" And then he answered, "Yes, God of War is coming out 2022." And I don't get the Game Pass effect from this. I just like, regardless of when this come out, look, Sony knows their production line. They are not Xbox. Let's get that straight. They're not mismanaged like Xbox is. Like, we all see how Halo's going with that season 2 and they're delaying stuff. They don't know what they're doing. Like they got, well, we want to give the developers some rest time, and that's a whole thing. That's not Sony. Sony knows their projects. They know the time they need. They know what it's going to take. So I'm all for it. If they say 2022, then it's 2022. If it gets delayed, it'll get delayed. But I'm not worried about it. As far as like Corey goes, like yeah, he's on the project. He's just not a director. And as far as the whole, everybody was expecting something to come out. That was on them. Like Sony never said that they were
No,
going to say
no, no.
anything.
I didn't say it in a
Oh
sense
no, no,
of.
no. I know. I'm
Okay,
just
gotcha.
addressing the people who were upset that they didn't hear
I
anything. I'm
don't
just like,
know if there were people upset. I mean, people are gonna be
there were.
upset. That's on them.
Yeah, there are people upset. They were like, "Oh man, Sony didn't say anything," and I'm just like, "Y'all put that on Sony. They never said just because it's the anniversary doesn't mean there's going to be an
Do you know?
announcement."
Do you know who put it on Sony? Themselves, but also the insiders. Remember, there was a
When y'all
couple
gonna
of.
learn to stop trusting Sony insiders? How many times are they gonna have to disappoint y'all to
Hey,
understand
it's
that
not.
they
Hey,
don't
hey,
know what the
hey,
hell they're
hey,
talking about?
hey, hey! It's insiders in general. It's not just PlayStation.
But like at least Microsoft insiders, like it's a like 50-50. Like sometimes like half the time they get it right, half
I
the time
love
it's
how
wrong.
you said. I love how you said 50-50.
It is 50-50. Like sometimes they'll get it right, and I'll be like, okay, Sony insiders, they never get their shit right. It's just a guessing game. As soon as Sony insider says something, I'm like, okay, that's not happening. And they said, oh yeah, the anniversary, they're gonna make an announcement, they're gonna do a state of play, and I'm just like, no, they're not. No, they're not. Sony's gonna do a state of play when they're ready to show something. They're not gonna do something just for an anniversary, just for a time, just to show something. That's not, y'all should know by now, that's not the way Sony operates. They show stuff when stuff is ready to be shown, and as it should be. We shouldn't want rushed things just because we want ourselves satisfied. Like, just wait, be patient. Trust me. When God of War is ready to be shown, we're all going to be completely satisfied. I truly believe that.
So if Sony developer say not developer insider says um something, you know,
Something.
fast is something else different.
I'm just like, I'm trying to count. I'm trying to think. Can I count on one hand how many times a Sony quote unquote insider has been correct? And I can't even think of one incidence. And if it was probably a coincidence. Like it just happened to be.
To be fair, you had one person that called out the God of War revealed trailer before it even was revealed. So it uh, I view it kind of like luck.
Wait. Somebody predicted there would be a trailer.
Yeah, and at the same time, he is also the person that said that what's called
Uh, the
Silent
sarcasm is
Hill
lost on
will
me,
be
Omar.
shown. So it's like you're gonna have
Listen, a
mixed
broken
bags.
clock is right 2 times a day. That don't mean that it's working. All right,
Yeah.
these people are just guessing. Sony is airtight when it comes to like the stuff that they working on. This is why when big announcements happen, everybody's surprised, like, "Oh my god, I didn't see that coming." It's like, of course you didn't, because Sony keeps their shit like airtight. Nobody says anything. Everybody's just guessing and wants to be labeled a Sony insider.
PlayStation ain't letting shit leak out these days.
No, they're not. Like
Yeah, it's
everybody's
actually
just
insane
guessing.
if you compare it to Xbox. Xbox had literally an
X,
entire
Xbox has
system
admitted
leak.
to leaking stuff, and they do that because they want to generate hype. When you need to generate hype, you're gonna have leaks. That's why the Series S and Series, or I think it was just the Series S, that leaked the design before it came out, and Xbox was like, "Oh, oops!" Like they, like they, didn't leak that themselves. It's to generate hype, and when you're in last place, that's what you have to do. You like when you're not the buzzword of the town, you have to leak stuff and have insiders and like to generate the hype and get people excited for your product. Sony doesn't need to do that. They're already ahead. They're in first place. People are waiting to hear from them. They don't need this insiders to tell people like, oh man, look, guess what's happening at Sony next month. They don't need that. So they keep their shit airtight.
Gotcha. Nate, what's your thought? And no,
I
you say it.
mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I wasn't expecting anything, so I mean, it
You
wasn't a
was
big
not
deal to me.
expecting anything, and even then you were disappointed.
Nah, I just didn't care. Like everybody thinks everybody. The problem with gaming lately and like social media, everybody thinks they expect something every day. Like every day is like cookie day, pretzel day. Like like
Family
every
loves
day is
pretzel.
not. Yeah, like yeah, like every day is not some day, and it's like just because it is doesn't mean you're gonna get something. Like
Look,
I'm sure we passed the day Golden Sun was came out or something. We're not gonna get new Golden Sun news. Like people just need to stop generating all this fake, you know, like basically setting themselves up. Like unless
Mhm.
they told you something, stop setting yourself up, calm down, and keep gaming like you've been doing, and you'd be alright.
That's what I
It's
say,
like
especially about Sony fans. It's like y'all do this every single time, and y'all get let down every single time. I don't know why y'all keep doing this. It's gonna be another anniversary in a month or two. They're gonna be like expecting news for this game, and I'm gonna be like shaking my head because there ain't nothing coming. But all right.
yeah, it's a mess. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a big deal for me. It just it is what it is. Uh, another example of the gaming community at large expecting stuff, some people lying that stuff was going to happen, and then obviously nothing happening.
It's just Twitter echo chamber.
Yep.
Mm,
Definition of misinterpreted all the time.
Weeb, what's your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I'm not worried. I mean, I'm sold on Ragnarok without a trailer. I mean, I'd rather have them work on the game and to finish it rather than work on some gameplay demo. I mean, it's I'm confident if they say it's coming out this year, it's coming out this year, and they're gonna ramp up promotion and show you the trailers and gameplay demos when they're ready to announce the release date. I mean, and even if by some chance it doesn't, I mean, look, I have a massive backlog, and there's so many games still coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. So, but I'm pretty sure it's coming out this year. I mean, I don't really see why it wouldn't. Uh, they've had enough time. Uh, COVID is allegedly over, so I mean, I I think we're just creating or we guess that the insiders are creating some sort of controversy with it, as usual.
Gotcha. As for me, again, I would not be surprised if it's delayed. I would genuinely not be. And I'm okay with delays. It's like, that's life. Also, Sub uh, Stardust and Sub Sea Fresh. Um, next topic would be so this is a very quick one. It's literally not per se breaking news, but it just broke. The news just broke a few hours ago. Apparently, insider told ex developer at Ubisoft told Kotaku that Ubisoft is thinking about selling the place, the company. The question is, should PlayStation pick them or should Microsoft pick them? Who do you think
Microsoft
gonna
can have
pick them? Hmm?
Microsoft can have them. They can
You
keep them.
say
They
that,
can.
but we all know that PlayStation right now is lacking in when it comes to what's called
First
um
of all, PlayStation has done Ubisoft games better than Ubisoft, so I wouldn't say they lack it
yeah,
in that department.
but that's why with PlayStation leadership they can get back to the old Ubisoft.
Mm. Can they though?
Yeah.
I believe. I'm gonna start with okay, so I I finished I got the platinum in in Ghost of Tsushima. And Ghost of Tsushima is a Japanese Assassin's Creed that we never had, that we always wanted. Can PlayStation get the old Ubisoft back, or do you think they're far long to gone?
We don't need it.
Facts.
What did you say?
We don't need Ubisoft.
They actually kind of do because Microsoft um um have what's called overtaken taken over what's called the
RPG.
Western RPG route. So PlayStation have one choice have choice
You,
between getting
You
CD
know,
Projekt Red or
let me tell you something.
Ubisoft, because Ubisoft makes a lot of Western
We don't
RPG.
need Ubisoft
no,
first
they
because
don't.
old Ubisoft is gone. Like the one that used to make the Assassin's Creed that we loved, the OG, that's gone. This is a new Ubisoft with new developers, new directors. They have a new vision of they want to do. They have like a service now, Ubisoft Plus or whatever, and they're trying to make Assassin's Creed into a service game. Nah, we already have one of the OG creators of Ubisoft as one of PlayStation Studios now, Haven. What's her name? Jay Raymond. We don't. She was one of the original minds of Assassin's Creed, so we already had that. We don't need Ubisoft. Microsoft can have that. They can have them. I'm done with Ubisoft and their lack of creativity and just their whole toxic environment. Like, nah, they can keep that.
Interesting. What about you, Nate?
I mean, I'm in mind of the fact that that PlayStation can't allow Microsoft to get them personally, mainly because one of the strongest suits uh, with Ubisoft, regardless of all the fuckery going on, is most of it is a management problem, which PlayStation is good at handling, and they have the manpower, and that doesn't seem like much, but they have a massive set of highly talented AAA trained developers, and you can't just get them everywhere. And a lot of them have stayed on with the company despite all the fuckery. Um, and I think
Well,
PlayStation can whip them into shape and really get them to do, um, what they need to do to become a better version of what they already are. Um, I think it would benefit them a lot. I don't think, like I said, it's not something if they're gonna sell it can't be afforded to go to Microsoft personally. That's just too much under one roof. Despite all the shit everyone says about a lot of their games, they still sell, and it's another one. It's another loss. Like you don't want to lose access to a lot of these games, despite not all of us even playing some of them. But at least half the panel has pretty much played uh, Far Cry or Assassin's Creed or one of them or something at some point, and they could flip the whole script and develop something brand new. So, not to mention other stuff that they have in the paint, still working on with Beyond Good and Evil 2. Uh, and I know how you feel about that because you like Beyond Good and Evil 1, but I didn't play that game, so I don't give a single fuck about that game. Beyond Good and
That
Evil
game
2
ever
looks
coming out?
fire.
Yeah,
It
if you know how I feel, you know I'm not excited about Beyond Good and Evil 2
Oh
whatsoever.
yeah, that's why I said that. But that's why I
Yeah.
said I didn't play the first game, so I don't give a fuck what people who played the first game think. So part
Oh,
two looks fire to me as a game individually, and having nothing to go on part one, the game looks amazing. It is co-op and in this living, breathing, galaxy and all this stuff. And I think the current consoles is the perfect place to bring that type of game out. On top of that, that would secure even more developers for them to not have to have any of the other developers that we already know and love to create any of this other shit that y'all don't want them to make anyway, like all these live service games they want to make. So
they talking about that ain't even coming out to like 24, 25, 26. Like it's several years out. See, this is the shit I talk about with Ubisoft. But go ahead.
No. I mean, I get it, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of that still is ultimately a management problem, but they do have a lot of games. They're almost one of the at one point I think they were one of the most consistent like delivering developers like ever. Like the one year for I forgot the one year, but they had like 3 or 4 games that came out like the year that Phoenix Rising came out. Um and they all charted. Like
Look, I say poach that fucking talent and put it in Haven or one of the other studios. Nah,
mhm.
fuck Ubisoft.
I mean they could take it, but I mean ultimately like that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't have to remain under the name. They could rebrand them, PlayStation Montreal or whatever if they wanted to.
Yeah, but a lot of senior devs are leaving the company, and they're already struggling finishing their current project. So I mean, it might already be a sinking ship if you look at it that way.
They said
So
they said
yeah,
I'm just
not
saying
this.
you
do we
don't
want
want
to
a
buy him?
future where Assassin's Creed is on Xbox only. I'm telling you, like the more that
I would
shit
still
stacks
Assassin's
up,
Creed after Valhalla. They can have it.
we say
You
that
see, wait, hold
it
And
up,
then
might
how
hold
be
about
up,
they can
hold
have
fire.
up,
it
hold
as
up.
a live
I
service
need to
game?
stop. I
I
need
don't
to
want
stop
that.
you for a second. You say they can have it, but you need to realize Valhalla sold the most out of all Assassin's Creed games, and PlayStation, I'm pretty sure, sold the most uh,
Probably.
uh, units.
Huh?
Yeah,
So
it's huge
you
on
can
PlayStation.
have it if Microsoft gets Ubisoft.
You
PlayStation,
really want a live service Assassin's Creed game?
I don't,
I mean, I
I
definitely
I
don't want
don't.
that,
Here's
but
the
that's
thing.
what
yeah.
they doing with the next one.
Yeah,
I don't
with
want it.
NFTs.
I don't want it. I genuinely don't want it. But I'm not a casual. Casual do want it. And
Yeah,
you,
but the thing is, your fear is not. Well, first of all, let's say they buy Ubisoft. I mean, with Activision, they already said all those games are still coming to PlayStation. So even if they did buy Ubisoft, those games would still come to
we
PlayStation. It's
don't
just,
know. We don't know about
they could
that.
have
Look
put.
what we don't know about that. Look what happened with Bethesda.
Well, with Bethesda, they had only like two games where they had exclusivity deals, and they kept their part of that deal. Um, if they have any deals with Ubisoft, those would also be. And the thing is, the problem is, if they bought them, they already are scrutinized for the Activision deal, which officially hasn't been confirmed to actually go through yet. So I'm not, let's say, hoping that they might the deal might not go through, but the SEC and other organizations that take care of preventing companies from getting monopoly positions. I mean, they're looking into this. Um, and if they're going to buy another publisher, which I generally don't think they're going to do, uh, aside from the fact that it might not make much financial sense because you're already sort of half stacked, Game Pass. Um, I mean, you even if you have all the money in the world, your investors are not gonna like it when you keep wasting money on something that you don't have to. Um, I don't think that. I mean, sure, I didn't expect Activision, but I'm not thinking that Ubisoft is going to be bought by Microsoft. I think they're also quite aware that they're not want to give the SEC and the European equivalent and whatever give them any more reason to scrutinize them and possibly block deals saying, yeah, Microsoft, you're getting too much monopoly power, so you'll have to divest some of these companies, or you have to split it up, or we're going to block those deals. So, I mean, it's entertaining to think about as a hypothetical, but realistically speaking, I don't see it happening.
Mm,
Shoot, give them a 10 cent. They can have them.
That
Let them buy
actually
it.
is more likely because Tencent actually did invest in Ubisoft.
I wouldn't even be surprised that it was announced later. Like, yeah, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I'm just saying the only reason PlayStation would have to do anything is ultimately, like I said, they just can't lose them to Microsoft themselves. As long as it's Tencent, the Embracer Group, or somebody else, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Sup, Bam Bam. By the way, are you the same Bam Bam from Twitter? Um.
Yes, that is him.
Okay. Um. So the next topic would be, and this genuinely made me mad because they're basically have an advantage, but almost like abuse it in a sense.
Are you cutting out?
Yeah, I was wondering, like,
Yeah, I was like,
So,
Yeah.
Sonic Origin locks mods, character animation, and more behind DLC. I'm gonna start with an 8. How do you feel about that one?
I mean, from a gaming moral standpoint, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why the hell they would ever do some shit like that. Um, Definitely not something I want to see bleed into their other games or become a common practice at all. Like that's ridiculous. It's looking a lot like Street Fighter at this point with all that. Um, as far as the game itself, well, yeah, obviously I had zero plans in playing that game.
facts.
Absolutely zero. So yeah.
Really?
Oh, dead serious. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that yeah, it had zero effect on me. Like I didn't even know that game was coming
I
out. That's
know.
why when you said, "Oh, that's a topic," I was like, "Wait, something happened with Sonic? Is something wrong with it?" Like I was confused. I was like, "What?" Yeah, like I literally had no idea until you posted what happened. So yeah, from like a gaming standpoint, like that's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, it's absolutely zero effect on me. But that doesn't mean it won't in the future because they make other games that I actually like. So uh, yeah, I definitely don't want to see Sega make that common practice. So yeah, I'm not for it at all.
Yeah, don't fuck with my judgment or Yakuza.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Um, Weeb, how do you feel about that one?
No, not you just skipping me. Okay.
No, 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 no. I want to save you for last because I
Oh,
have
okay.
something
I'm
additional.
always last. Come on.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Nah, I actually
I,
want to give you more time for it. Cause don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Trust
Oh
me.
man.
yeah. I'm always the first in your life, and I always get to do the last introductions.
Oh. You said the best for
We
last. That's why.
and
Yeah.
go ahead and tell me how do you feel about this one?
Uh, I'm with Nate. I heard about this, but I mean, look, Sega has been fucking up Sonic for so long. This doesn't surprise me. Again, as long as they don't make that mistake with a Yakuza game or a Judgment game, I mean,
Facts.
uh, I don't really care. I mean, and I know people have also been whining about Lost Judgment that there's like the locking things behind DLC. I mean, look, even though it has gained more popularity, that series is not doing gangbusters. So I'm supporting that series if they can make more money by releasing some DLC and hiding some cosmetics and some missions behind the season pass. I don't care. I mean, they can have my money. I enjoy that series so much.
Interesting.
For
So
me, it's not an issue.
you should. So as long as they don't fuck with judgment, you're okay with their practices.
Well, and I don't think they will because Sonic has been
Popular.
now Sonic has that occasionally you have a rare gem, but mostly that series has been milked to death, and they have no idea what they want to do with it. So that they're gonna mess this up. I mean, that's not surprising. I mean that's Sega, or at least that's Sega with respect to Sonic. all the way. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna let the Leaf Yakuza and Judgment, well, alone in that regard. Yeah, sure, they're probably gonna. The next one is gonna have some DLC, but you know, I don't care. I mean, I don't mind paying a little more for some DLC as long as it's not egregious.
Gotcha. Now, let me flip it. Imagine if PlayStation did this.
Oh, you know
Oh, I
what?
No,
mean,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no, forget PlayStation. No, no, no. Let's say, imagine if they did it with Yakuza. Would you then be outraged?
I mean, yeah, because that's some shit that we actually like and play. So that would be some absolute bullshit. Like, imagine them trying to lock like
Exactly. So if we
like
don't
pre
speak
skill
about it
sets or
right
something
now,
day one.
if it, exactly,
Well,
monkey see, monkey
well,
do.
well, well, well. Uh, Lost Judgment did actually lock a fighting style behind DLC,
They
but
came
the
out with
thing
one
is,
later.
yeah, but the thing is, I didn't actually mind it that much because that fighting because you already had three fighting styles. It wasn't like you needed that one, that you like you felt like you were missing that style. In fact, it was quite broken in my opinion. So I actually preferred not to use it because it made things a bit too easy. So I could see it as basically something like an afterthought. I didn't actually build the game around that fighting style and just like, you can have something extra. Or they made that like after the game went gold, purposely as DLC. So I didn't really mind that. I mean, if we're gonna do it like that, right? That you're not really feel like they really took things from the game, cut it out, and sold you separately. I'm okay with it.
And Nate, how do you feel about this one?
I mean, you talking about like the Yakuza thing or whatever,
No,
the
no, no, no.
Judgment?
You don't care about Sonic, I know. But how do you feel about the
He just answered that.
the
Yeah,
preferences?
I said it. That I remember I said that originally. I said obviously I don't want it to continue through or become a common practice for Sega because they do make other games like Yakuza and Judgment and stuff that we do like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I don't want it to become a common practice. But yeah, like something like we've said, like if the game is feature complete and something comes way later and they're like, "Ooh, I really wanted to add this." Yeah, I'm not, you know, getting on devs for shit like that. But you're locking shit behind DLC and all that day one. You know what I'm saying? Or very shortly thereafter or whatever. Nah, hell no. That's extremely obvious and designed, in a manner that is honestly just unbecoming of the franchise. So yeah, that's not something that I'm with at all. Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
definitely against that 100%.
And last but not least, Morgan, how do you feel about this one, and what did Devolver Digital do to combat it?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's crazy that they're offering like, was it like five different tiers, all of them offering something different, and it's like you gotta buy like three or four of them to get everything or something. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder if like Sega is kind of feeding off the hype of Sonic right now with the Sonic
They are.
movies
They
and
definitely
using
are.
that to their
But
advantage.
hold, hold up. Do you really need to buy everything? Almost two to three tiers. You
Looks like
can't
you
buy
need to
just the
like,
final tier and get everything.
nah, the final tier is missing like three stuff, and then you need to buy another one. Like you need to buy the edition and
Wow.
then the start dash pack to get everything.
Dude,
Digital
what the
deluxe.
actual
Yeah.
fuck, dude?
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, yeah, they're definitely using the Sonic hype right now to justify this. They're like, oh man, like Sonic's at an all time high. It's trending. Everybody loves the movies. So hey, we got a game coming out. Let's milk the hell out of this. Let's, that stuff that we're going to all put in the game. Now let's make that into like five different packages. Because you know what? They're loving Sonic right now, so they're gonna buy it. They're gonna get it for their kids or even for them. so they can get every single tier, every single little mini game, every single little all the coins and stuff, so they can get Sonic outfits and all. Yeah, they're definitely milking the hell out of this, and I feel like they know what they're doing, and unfortunately they're probably gonna make bank on this. It's
This
kind of
made
sad.
me
Yeah,
so much. This made me
yeah.
mad, so much mad. I
I
didn't pay attention that you can't even get everything by buying one single.
Yep. Like if you
Uh,
want the bonus coins and the mirror mode and the background, some kind of background or something, you got to
what the
get.
what the
Yeah.
fuck happened to what the fuck happened to getting stuff after you beat the game? If you
Listen,
beat the hard
when they
part.
realize that they can sell shit separately and people will still buy it and they can make more, listen, they were like, they're going full effect.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
I wished what's her name? Kay was here because she is literally now watching Sonic 2 with every
Mm-hmm.
kid. I would have loved to have insight on this one.
Yeah, Audrey in her full Sonic gear. I love it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. Okay. As for me, this dog shit, this is absolutely not that something that I'm with whatsoever. Um. I'm mad. Here's the thing why I'm mad. Monkey see, monkey do. We're gonna talk about it with the ad situation, but I, the more and more I'm covering the news, the more and more I'm hoping for a gaming crash or regulation from what's called um, government at that point. Because here's the thing: are we better off with government regulating this, or are we better off with how we are right now? That's a new topic, and I'm curious. I'm gonna start with Nate. What do you think? Thank you, Morgan.
that's a really good question. I don't know. Like, if the government got involved, the question is how far would they go to the point that it started affecting us and the things that we like? Like, what at what point would they pump the brakes? Because because sometimes too much regulation is not a good thing, but
I
there
agree,
does need to be.
but look how they're trying to fuck us over right now.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree on that. Like, there needs to be something done because a lot of these companies are taking advantage of people's enjoyment of gaming and these IPs that are well loved. It's you would kind of hope that morals would kick in, but this is business. They don't give a fuck. Um, so I don't know. And if the question is how far, like, because Europe and America handle these things very differently. I see Europe; they are quick,
Oh
they're
yeah,
hands on.
America is corrupt like a motherfucker. No
Yeah,
offense.
like listen, like y'all got like when the whole thing, I think it was with FIFA happened or something, like the aggressive microtransactions with like FIFA or
I
something like
think
that.
Star Wars Battlefront
Oh
2.
yeah, Star Wars. It was something, yeah. And the European government stepped in real quick with the quickness and was like, nah, we gotta cut that. Like we ain't doing that over here. But and then it trickles down to America just because it has to because the game is all that stuff. So because the game is also available over here, but it's just like America, they slow with the shits and they all about money, so they honestly don't give a fuck half the time. So I don't know if they would step in, to be honest with you. I mean, they're mostly all talk. That's why y'all see them on Twitter talking about we need to look into this Activision thing. They don't care. They're not looking into it. It's just talk. It's all for a show. Uh,
Mm,
but yeah,
okay, gotcha. And hey, you here?
Yeah,
You here?
yeah. Continue.
Okay. Um, a new topic I just created. With how the industry is heading right now, are we better off if government regulates the industry, or are we better off not having the government regulate the industry?
I mean, I'm not gonna say like complete regulation, but obviously some shit needs to be, handled to a degree. basically like Morgan pointed out, the stuff where the European Trade Commission basically, immediately looked at, how predatory the transactions were going through FIFA and shit like that, and the packs, and to the point where like grade school kids are still in their parents' credit cards, you know, and charging, on there and shit like that. Like, it, yeah, like stuff like that. When it gets to that point, and you're getting predatory transactions towards children and shit like that, like it gets out of hand. So yeah, you need something like that for sure when it gets to that point. But um, I don't know that they can necessarily always do that. Like I told you, like some of the stuff, even though it wasn't microtransactions in that specific regard, like where it was the random packs, and that's where it was seen as gambling, and that's why they had stepped in. Um, like I told you, it was just as bad on something like a game, like how much I love Mass Effect, but I told you how bad it was on Mass Effect 3, where we couldn't even basically complete the multiplayer co-op because it was so bad, like the way that they designed the way that they designed the I guess the progression for the multiplayer for the co-op, that even though we had the skill, you couldn't even obtain the things that you needed in order to progress to a certain degree. So like yeah, when it gets bad, like I don't know if they necessarily need to, but another form of like another division or the ESRB, something to basically make sure, something to realize, to make sure that games are, I guess, fair is the best term. Um, I think that would be the best. Not necessarily government, but like I said, maybe
Okay,
another
here,
division.
let me make it better for you. Not the US government, but the Europe government. Are we better off with the Europe government taking control?
Um, I don't really know how they would do that because I thought the people that actually did it was the European Trade Commission. So basically, I mean, we have a trade commission here. They just don't. They just give less of a fuck, to be honest. Like, like as long as you're making money and they like
That's what
you're
I say.
not.
They don't care.
Yeah, it's super ridiculously capitalist over here. They just really do not give a fuck. Like we've pointed that out to them before. The whole thing with them being it potentially being gambling to kids and all that shit. But like they finally said something after the European Trade Commission went through all that shit.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, if it was like the European Trade Commission, yeah, I could see that, like for sure. But not specifically government, mainly just because just at least our like I don't really know too much with the European government. So if it was the European Trade Commission, maybe then I could see that since they actually seem to pay attention and do their job. Um, I could say that. I wouldn't say the European government specifically. I guess the Trade Commission is a form or a branch of it, a lower branch of it. But yeah, that specific subsection of them, yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Omar.
Shit, I had my mic muted. I even said weep.
Oh, yeah, I
And
was like,
I. Sorry about that. Weep. What about you? No, I listened to the entire thing.
Sure you did. Um, well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what we're talking about. If it's indeed,
Look. I'm gonna make it very simple for you guys. Just a normal regulation, not being corrupt. This is not USA. Just Europe regulating how they don't fuck us over. Simple. No
well,
microtransactions, no loot. No.
it's not necessarily because we're saying Europe, but I think for the example with EA, I think European Union didn't step in there. It was local governments of individual countries that did something with respect to the loot boxes. Um, I think the European Union doesn't necessarily step in that on that level. They do step in, with if there's threats of monopoly or uh, or they're forming cartels to fix prices and shit like that. Um, you know, and the thing is, the European Union does have a tendency to that they're definitely are more daring to go after these companies, but they also have a tendency to sometimes go a bit overboard. Like laws that, for example, give you the right to be anonymous on the internet, so that you have the right to demand that like Google deletes all shit they have on you, which is fine, but also can result in a lack of transparency, for example. Um, yeah, I mean, sure, government regulations should definitely be applied when they go overboard, like with microtransactions that are addictive, loot boxes, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if they can step in into the example that you given of like that they're trying to sell game modes separately. I mean, that's up to anybody. I mean, if you buy a car, you can also buy the same model but with extra options, right? It's not like anybody can stop, not even the government can stop companies from doing that. So
So this practice, you don't see it as predatory?
I not predatory. I see it as definitely anti-consumer. But the thing is, there's not necessarily anything a government can do and maybe should do about it, purely from the fact that that's going to be so arbitrary and so. I mean, then that would also apply to anybody. I mean, if you want to. Uh, Sell, for example, old games, and then you decide, okay, but if you pay me more, I'm gonna give you, sell you two games. They could also say, yeah, that's predatory. I mean, that's kind of iffy if we're gonna go that direction. I don't think that, again. I mean, I don't like this in general, really in general, but I don't think government regulation is going to help, because there's nothing really they can do about this, because it's just you're selling you're selling tiers of a game. You're just saying, okay, you have to pay more to get more stuff. It's not that they're um it's not that the only way they can step in is with things like loot boxes, which have gambling mechanics in it. But sure, there are of course limits even to other things where they can abuse their market power. They can't sell you a broken product and ask you to pay for that. And I'd say that where they should step in is giving you more consumer protection respect to game ownership. Like the idea that you only buy a license, I think is ridiculous. I think you should actually, if you pay for it, be able to do whatever you want with that game, and there should not be an option for a company to somehow take that away from you. I think those are the areas where governments should look at. And yeah, again, I'm not saying that these things that you mentioned are okay, but I don't think they can actually. There's no practical way they can actually intervene in that unless it actually crosses a line where it, for example, goes into the territory of gambling.
Gotcha. Um, here's the thing. I know that government can take it too far. I'm looking at you, Germany, where literally you need to censor blood from red blood to green blood, or else the game would not be allowed. No joke. That type of censorship I'm not looking for. I'm looking for just protection. If they, I want companies to one up each other with better games, so we the gamers get the benefit from it. I don't want companies to fucking fuck us over and decide which company is fucking us over the most. Like that's not fun. That's not enjoyable. And that's the reality of how things are right now. Um, the next topic is I'm curious. Okay, so PlayStation. So remember how last week we covered Microsoft have the plan to introduce ads in free-to-play games. This week, apparently, PlayStation want to do the same. So my question is, one, can we prevent this from happening, or are we already fucked? And two, where where do we where is the end goal? Where is enough is enough, and gamers are gonna see gamers gonna revolt? I'm gonna start with you, Morgan.
Yes, we found out this week that PlayStation is also doing the same thing. And apparently, according to the article, that they've been working on this since the PS5 was initially released. Like they've been secretly working on doing this since the PS5 release. Um, it's honestly sad. It's so far they said that it's only you know
So far, this
the
is only in free-to-play games, but
yeah.
you know, you
Oh
give
yeah, I
them
know.
an inch, they take a
Yeah.
mile, right?
Yes, and I know that we're probably going to get a bunch of free to play with these live service games that they're trying to push out in PlayStation. It's probably going to be the tester of these ads in the game. I don't know if it's just product placement or if it's just going to be like actual ads. I'm not sure. Um, and even in the article, like some people were saying this is just rumors, but listen, it's going to happen. Like it's going to happen. Um, is there anything we can do about it? I honestly don't know because if they start it off and it's not egregious and it's just kind of like, oh, you're driving through a city and you happen to see like a Coca Cola um, sign as you're driving by or walking by or something, people aren't going to get angry at that. They're not going to get upset. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, cool. Um, so it's like, is there enough to get angry about right now? I don't know. Like we have to. I guess we just kind of have to wait and see what they're going to do, how it's going to be implemented. Is it going to affect gameplay? Is it going to affect anything like that? Like is it going to have a negative effect, positive effect? I don't know. I just know that it's a slippery slope, and this can definitely lead to something a lot more egregious, especially if it pays well, if it works well for PlayStation and Microsoft. Um, because we all know, like at the end of the day, like they don't listen to us; they listen to the dollar. Like
Yeah,
whoever
yeah.
gets the money is the one making the rules. So I don't know. I'm just this is why I just don't like live service games. I don't like
Me
these type
too.
of free to play games because they just lead to this type of shit. And I
I
would just
agree.
rather pay my full price, $60, $70, get the game, play it, get my money's worth, and not have to deal with this free to play type bullshit. Um, I can only hope. Like I know if it gets to a point where it's affecting the game, I definitely will speak up. Hopefully, the whole gaming community will and get this turned around. But as of right
Nah,
now,
nah. You've been on Twitter, right? You've seen how
yeah,
people
I
were
mean,
literally been
people
defending it.
split up when when things went awry with Gran Turismo, and then with Microsoft when things went awry with games with gold. So I mean, if it affects enough people and it's
A
negative
lady
enough,
can hope, eh?
yeah, we can hope. Hopefully that's all I really got to say about it. I'm just kind of sad. Like this is what gaming is coming to now.
Yep, this is where gaming is coming through. Nate, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah,
Nate,
let Weeb go first, real quick. I'm gonna answer in a second.
okay. Weeb.
Now I can go first. Um, it's about the ads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking terrible, of course. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna play those free to play games anyway, but I don't want to see any ads in games. Period. I mean, that's the reason I'm fucking playing games. I don't have to watch all those fucking ads. So I mean, you're not paying $70 for a game and then having you interrupt my gameplay to watch a fucking ad break. I mean that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope that this dies as quickly as it came up.
Gotcha. Um, Nate, when you're back, let us know. Um, before while we're waiting on Nate, you're back?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, what's your
Yeah, I
thoughts on
mean,
this one?
so basically, like Morgan said, uh, yeah, I mean, if they they keep it reasonable in certain places where it's not interrupting your gameplay and these free to play games, no one's really going to say anything. Um, it's not going to really get anybody to really be up in arms about anything. I mean, just looking at stuff like Fortnite now, yeah, they're not direct advertisements, uh, but partnering with Jordan and Balenciaga and all these other brands,
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth, and even Marvel. Um, I mean, it's essentially some form of advertisement already. Um, and just inserting like, let's say like the Doctor Strange movie's coming out, right? Uh, they put in a little corner while you're on, your character select screen on Fortnite, and in the little corner there's a little rectangle that says like in theaters, such and such. You don't hear it; it's just playing. It's an ad window. Of occasionally Sprite or bubblegum shows up. And that pops up and it starts to play. But as long as it's not in your face, taking over your screen, most people are not going to notice. Um,
Hmm. Okay,
Now,
so
obviously, the problem is they could. We know how it is. If you're like, oh no, that's cool, I'll work with that, then it gets worse, and then it gets worse because the
mm-hmm.
whole idea is how far can they push it
Because
before you say no.
they're gonna try to find that line, how far they can go before we get
I
mad.
think I have the feeling they're
Exactly.
gonna go. I have the feeling they're gonna push so far until they get pushed back and they're gonna dial back.
Oh yeah.
That's what I have the feeling gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean that's the fear. It's just how bad it really could get. Um, will it get there? I don't know. Like Morgan said, there's not enough for us to get mad about yet because we don't even know how it's going to be implemented, how we're going to see it. Like for instance, one thing that has never really bothered me because personally, that's literally how it is in real life. Like if you're playing like NBA 2K and the little things on the side that are meant for advertisements had actual
Yeah.
advertisements, Coca-Cola, PlayStation, like that makes total sense. That is a prime opportunity to implement advertising in a game where it fits. It's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to have advertisements there. So why not just make real ones? So yeah, like stuff like that I think is just prime for it. And, clearly 2K is always trying to monetize the ever living daylights out of the NBA series. Um,
Really, I didn't notice.
oh yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm
Freaking
joking. I'm joking.
PC.
No,
Oh
Maybe
no, no,
this.
no, I
swear
know.
to God, if that shit hits my $70 games, it's gonna be a boot in Sony's
Yeah, I was. I
ass.
was.
Like,
I was.
I thought-
Let's cover it that because I wanted to go there. Look at Death Stranding. They already did with Death Stranding. How do you
Hmm.
guys feel about Death Stranding? I found
Listen,
it
I
tedious.
didn't mind it too bad because that was part of the game mechanic. It was he drank energy drinks to get his health up, so
We're
I didn't
talking.
mind that it was Monster. Like I didn't really care. Um, that didn't bother
I
me too
cared
much.
because it was needed.
Yeah,
If you didn't drink it, then you would have been lagged behind
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
hard.
If it was just sitting there, or like it would like, or the camera would pan to it when I was trying to do something, that would have been annoying. But it was part of the gameplay. He drank the energy drink to get energy, so it wasn't too bad. I didn't care, even though I thought his show popping up in the shower was kind of annoying. I was like, all right, well, I don't really want to hear this motorcycle vroom every time I take a shower, but okay. Um, but yeah, like if you want to do it like that, like put like a Coke in the character's hand and he gets health or whatever, like, I don't care. But like if it's affects my gameplay, if it pauses my game, if it interrupts my game, if I see it ad pop up during a load screen, like a 30-second. First of all, we have SSD. There shouldn't be enough time for an ad to pop up, and if they make time for an ad to pop up, that's when we're gonna have a problem. Like
I
you're
have the feeling they're gonna do
elongating
that.
yeah, elongating load times in order to incorporate it with the ad. That's going to be a problem. Um, yeah, those are the type of shit that I don't want. Like, I don't care about product placement too much. Like, if it fits the natural environment. Like, if we're in a post, like if it was Last of Us 2 or 3 or whatever, and you're walking around a post-apocalyptic world, and you see like an old torn up banner, an ad for Coke, I wouldn't care. Like, if it's torn and
Would it
it's sitting there.
would it not take you out of the experience? Because for some it would.
No, I mean, because it's the Earth, where it's the world, like
Yeah,
that shit.
Fallout's a real world experience, or
You
Last of
know,
Us is like a real world experience.
if it was happening like if it was Coke on an alien planet, that'd be kind of weird. But I mean, it's Earth. Last of Us is about. I mean, it was PlayStation 3 in Ellie's room. She had crashed in there. She had a bunch of little PS3 games in her room. That didn't take me out. Like I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny. So
Here
I
is
wouldn't
how you
mind.
can implement ad in my opinion. Make it an Easter egg. If you blur
Yeah,
if
that Easter egg.
if you blur Easter egg and ad, it can work, right?
I don't know, but Easter eggs, I find Easter eggs to be cool, quirky little things that have something semblance. Like I wouldn't care about I care about a God of War Easter egg in a Horizon game. That's cool to me. Like I would find a like a I don't know, fucking Coke Easter egg in Horizon not that significant. I'd be like, okay, like I hunted this down to find a Coca
Yeah, like
Cola.
it wouldn't ruin the experience, but it wouldn't. You're not going to be like, oh my god, there's a Coke.
Like
Like,
when you find stuff like other game Easter eggs. That shit's cool. You're like, oh man, look, that's something for Ghost, or that's something for this game. Like, oh man, that's cool. I wouldn't, I wouldn't say that if it was a Coke. I'm like, oh,
If you find a
I hunted
co-
down to find a Coca Cola.
if you
Hmm.
find a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi tank and Aloy comment about how apparently this was a drink that people on the old one used to drink or something like that.
I don't know. I feel like that would be like, oh, so y'all. My first thought would be, how much did Coke pay y'all to say that? Like that would be my
I
first
mean,
thought.
that's the reality we're in right now. This is why I'm trying. Here's the thing. I'm going with the best thing,
Best case
and I'm
scenario.
gonna go
Yeah.
to the worst thing. The worst thing is this, and I definitely can see them do it, which is slow down load time. I know there are no load time, but they're gonna create load time, and they're gonna um, put a 30-second video clip for you to watch
Let's not speak that
before
into
it starts
existence.
up a video
Yeah.
game. They first gonna try it with free to play. If they don't get pushback on it, they're gonna do it with the game. And that's what I'm trying to uh, see if we can blur the line between an Easter egg and an advertisement. It works best if we do that than if we get the 30-second clip.
yeah, nah, no 30-second clip, bro. That's not.
Yeah.
No.
I
It's
like
not
it.
even
I see that
30
shit. I'm
It's not
fired.
even 30-second clip. They can do it way worse now. Here's an example. Anyone here played mobile games?
I mean, I
Not
have
really.
at
Not
Okay,
some point, but
okay. So I play a few. I don't spend any dollar. Uh, Here is the thing. And that's a topic I wanted to go through. I am playing two RPG games right now, and they are more interesting, and they have a better story and better character development and better character what's called design than pretty much lots of the JRPGs that I'm playing that are on consoles. So clearly, the mobile market is important and generates a lot of money. So what they have is they have two ways with ads. The first one is they give you a set amount of energy.
Energy. I'm
When
familiar
you
with that bullshit.
yeah, when you're done with your energy, you can either purchase energy with real life money, or you can watch a 30-second ad, and you can do that one time or two times, depends on the game. They can do that. Or they can do is they can offer you loot boxes, and if you want more loot boxes, you can watch this 30-second ad. If it's in a free to play game and the loot boxes are cosmetic only, no problem. But if it's a free to play game and the loot boxes are pay to win, then you're gonna have people with advantage. A lot of advantage. Do you understand what I'm saying? They can literally do that. Like Genshin Impact already did it. Not like that, but basically what Genshin I played Genshin Impact. I enjoyed Genshin Impact, but I dropped Genshin Impact. Why did I drop Genshin Impact? Because it was up to them when I level up my character, when I level up my skill, when I level up my armor. If I want if I want material to level up my armor, I need to play the game every Thursday. If I want skill to level up my skill, I need to play. I'm paraphrasing. It's not exactly that which one you level up, but basically materials are locked behind doors that only open at certain days, real life days. That's not
Oh
fun.
yeah, that's another thing that they do though. That's why I said like you definitely don't want the mobile market. Like yeah, I've played some where they do okay and basically they give you enough where like you couldn't do everything that you needed to do in a day, and usually you feel all right that way. But like you said, there's always the pay to win level people that can afford to pay. Sometimes, I mean, the worst that I've heard, I think somebody paid like $132,000 or something in that Fate Stay game that Sony has, and it was just literally to get like a specific card or some dumb shit. But but yeah, like you said, like that stuff. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get that far in Genshin Impact, to be honest, is because I noticed really early on, like I was like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, I got to
I
go
was
over here and
having
get that. Like
fun with
everything was
Genshin
very
Impact.
forced.
I was having fun with Genshin Impact until you started to realize the strongest characters I locked behind pay to win, and also you need them if you wanna progress through the story.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, but it wasn't even just that. But like you said, the basic stuff, leveling skills, leveling your armor, like there's so much stuff where like there's almost too much shit going on. Like if people think in some of the games that we've played that there's too much shit going on, they haven't played like a mobile game like Genshin
Mm-hmm.
Impact. And Genshin Impact actually got really praised because it's essentially a normal level game with gotcha mechanics and the mobile stuff drilled into it, but because of the production value of it initially. But eventually, when people started to really get into it, they started to find just how bad a lot of the mobile game mechanics were in it.
Yep.
And I mean, it could get extremely egregious. Like that's what that, and that's the slippery slope and the problem. And then, like you said, on top of that, when you are the free to play player, then they're like, hey, how about you watch this ad and we'll give you some gems for the day, and then blah blah blah. And it's just because then they're
Or
guaranteed
or the
shit's
best
full
one,
screen.
do every daily quest so you can get a 5 gems or 10
Yeah,
gems.
yeah. But again, that's another thing that everything is about driving your engagement with that game at that point. Like
I have a
that's the
question.
problem.
You play Grand Theft Auto 7, Gran Turismo 7. Oh my god, I don't
Yeah.
understand why there is games where there is literally two names like that. Why didn't one of them pay attention and change the name? Damn it, Gran Turismo. I always make that mistake between Gran Turismo and Grand Theft Auto. You play Gran Turismo 7. Does it have dailies? And if so, does it feel egregious?
Nah, so they really like just added that stuff. They started adding it and like, but it's not forced or anything. Like you don't have to do them. Um, like it's just another form of, hey, here's this thing that you can do with this set of vehicles, or that this lower end powered vehicle. Like basically, it's just trying to give you interesting things to do, on a constantly updated basis. Um, but
So they
yeah, they're not
updated,
egregious or
so it's
anything.
not the same thing every single day.
Nah, they update it all the time. So it's
Okay,
updated.
so they
There's a set that's put in on the week, and then each time throughout the day, like they have a daily that or a daily set that'll change that you
uh,
can do and try for the day.
okay, so you get enjoyment out of it because you're trying something different and new.
Well, and that's why they implemented it.
I like
That was
that. That
another thing that they did. And that's what Kazunori was talking about when he said, well, I don't want people to have to feel like they need to do the same thing in order to earn money. So that's another reason why they up the money in a lot of the places so that people would feel like, oh, I can make just as much money doing this thing and it's way more interesting, or I'm doing something different. Now, is that going to stop everyone from grinding? No, because some people that's how they get it how they live.
hmm
Like they say, some people, like I guarantee you, if you went to like a really super car meet or something out here, everybody at that car meet got their money a different way. Even if two people you meet are in real estate, they both did it slightly differently or something. So that's like them trying to control it is kind of rough, and that's where it looks like, the fan backlash paid off, and realizing like, hey, you need to back off a little bit and realize like we're still going to play whatever the fuck we want to play. You can add stuff and give us more stuff. We're not going to complain about that. And eventually, like, I think the next update's going to add 7 more cars and all this other stuff. But the key with that is none of that shit is locked behind anything other than in-game money. And that's the big, big difference with that versus something like a free to play. Um, where you do eventually, I don't care how free to play you are, you can get away with it. Like, don't get me wrong, I've played like 2 or 3 and we never spent a dime, but there's inherent benefits to all that stuff eventually spending a little bit. I'm not saying you guys spend a lot, but like we played one game for like a year and a half to 2 years with me and like a couple people in Discord, and eventually it's like, hey, why not just spend the 24.99 and get the super, holy shit upgrade on the ship, and now you can hold 7 times as many monsters, and now your whole entire game changes just from that. So it's not always like you got to spend whale levels of money and go crazy, but obviously the more you spend, the more enjoyable your experience will be, because
hmm
that's how they're built, and that's the danger with that versus also the ad implementation and getting you to log in daily. That's some shit that drove me crazy. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of games that are free to play have the daily logins and stuff. And don't get me wrong, some of the rewards are really good, but the point is to constantly keep up that engagement. So everything in the game is
And
designed
if you
around that.
forget to log in one time, you're fucked.
It resets you. Exactly. Yep. So, yeah, shit like that is just, there's so many little traps in those games. Beside, like, on top of that, dealing with like you said, the constant ads and other promos and stuff. Like I've had a promo in one of the games that I played that it was like you could link your Amazon Prime account and get something else. And so they do stuff like that. And they were getting some sort of kickback off of people linking their Amazon Prime account because that's why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like that was another form of like an ad. So now it's like, hey, if you were considering Amazon Prime and you play this game, maybe you should get it because here's another benefit of Amazon Prime. So it could get so bad. There's it. Having played a couple of mobile games in the last 3 or 4 years has shown me just how crazy it can get. So I,
Yeah,
I, I definitely know what you mean.
like I was playing a game called Lord of Heroes. Like the writing in Lord of Heroes is fantastic. The character design is great. The story is amazing. The character development is some of the best I've ever seen. And at first it was not egregious. But now they introduced almost like a loot box system where you're getting, and when you're not getting a lot of it, you need to do a lot of engagement in it, and you're not getting a lot out of it. And it's such a shame because game can be fun. It can even be monetized well, like the way you're doing it with GTA, GT7, which is basically you do everything different, something different every day. That's nothing, not different than a trophy. Kill enemies with while jumping or something like that. Like that ad, that is the trophies that I like. I like the unique stuff. That's fun. But if you say collect every single thing in the game, that's not fun. That's not engagement. And that's what you see with the games. Um, Ghost. Oh, he left. I was gonna go to him. Ghost, if you're here, come back. I wanna ask you. Otherwise, I'm gonna, I think, end it because we were with few people and I'm
Mhm.
set. Huh? I think we have. I think we might still have. Uh, I don't know if we had Weeb. Weeb, did we have your opinion? I think I didn't have anyone opinion about. Oh no, I had Morgan opinion. And now I need what Weeb opinion about the topic.
About what topic?
The ad placement.
No,
Here's
I already talked about it. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. I wanted to shift it from the ad placement to more like So I'm playing few mobile games and they are they have better production value in it than most triple A games. Why is that? Why is a mobile game better presented, knows how to create a character, how JRPGs are, than most RPGs nowadays? What's happening? I'm gonna start with you, NA.
I didn't. I heard what you said, but I didn't understand the question.
The question is, I am playing. So you played a few mobile games, right?
Okay, yeah.
How was the production value of them?
Honestly, lately high as fuck. Like they've gotten really high. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Like especially the character designs, like you were talking about, have been insane. So
So then my question is, why are we seeing that way? Why is production value and everything is being put in a mobile game outclass triple A game?
yeah, so I think honestly a big factor that I've seen personally. So this is a two-factor thing for me. So mainly because I'm also really into art in general, like drawing and stuff like that. So I follow a lot of artists and stuff on Deviant Art and some other places. One thing that I've seen from a lot of artists on there, a lot of them get picked up by these companies, and a lot of these people are really good. but they're not particularly game designers and stuff. But they design some really, really dope ass concept characters and shit. And a lot of these games are willing to pick up these characters and implement them as characters in their game. So a lot of these really cool characters that you see from artists that never get put in a game and never get, get a shine are now being picked up by these these high end looking mobile games, and now you're seeing all these really crazy dope ass weapons and characters and shit like that. And I say that because I've seen a lot of the people that I had followed that were really good at this shit. Uh, will have on their profile, like, hey, I'm working on a game, this and that. This character and this character is going to be in it, and a lot of them are those characters like you're talking about. Um, so the production value in general is also increasing. Besides that, so not only are they recruiting some of the best artists that are out there that are not given that shot, but then you're talking about an improvement in phones in general. So phones are increasingly more and more powerful. Don't get me wrong, that shit will still drain the shit out of your battery, but it's easier and easier to design something like you said, like a JRPG level, and make it look incredibly good. I can't remember the last game that I had tried. I didn't get too deep into it, but just like I was essentially doing what was the tutorial in the game, and I was just like, "Damn, this shit is so crazy." And like you said, it was they had the story and the world, and why you fought dragons and all this crazy shit. Like it was basically essentially a full fledged, JRPG that you just played online, um, where they had battle arenas and stuff like that where you could fight each other and do shit like that. But the production value wasn't any lower than a lot of double A or triple A even
I try
JRPGs.
to remember when the last time I ever played a JRPG that rivals a game like Lord of Heroes. Like the only game that I can think of is East 9, but East 9, as much of the great that game is, uh, its characters are not that unique, and most of them uses the same uh, at okay, Weeb, you played East 9. Did you pay attention how some of the skills literally feels the same?
Mm, you mean the unique skills or the combat
No, no,
skills?
no, no. Unique skills are different. Combat skills, like for example, um, Hawk, he has two skills that look the same. And what's her name? The woman that uses the hammer. She literally has two skills that spin. One she does a spinning attack. The one she does a spinning attack as the one attacker with it. It's like almost like they don't have any. They are not investing too much in it. It's like they don't care.
Uh, I I think you're reading too much into it. I think this is just purposely intended to have a more powerful or variant of a particular move. I don't think. I mean, there are plenty of moves that are very different from each other. So no, I don't agree with that.
Interesting. I might download the East 9 and uh, videotape it so I can. I remember I tweeted about that. I need to see it if I can find it so I can show it to you.
Yeah. So
Cause
I looked at the game you were talking about, Lord of Heroes, just so I could see it for myself, and I see what you mean. But yeah, like the way that this game looks is essentially how a bunch of them were starting to get to this high fidelity level where it's like, damn, but what, like you said, the problem was we would see shit like this. We'd be like, damn, we really want to play this. And we might play it for a hot minute. And then we'd start to immediately see the emerging mechanics of the mobile portion.
So
Yeah,
it's like it looks like a really good turn-based JRPG or even action-based JRPG, and the story and all that shit is there, and it's really dope, and the world and all this shit. But like, as soon as you run the course of like the campaign or whatever it is at the moment, like very quickly that stuff starts to show up
yeah.
where that daily login becomes important.
Enemies
Now
doing
you got to get gear
yeah,
for your each character, and you got to like get a certain gems and certain like just like this. Like there's a bunch of shit on this end screen right here where they just did this battle. There's like a potion and a shield and some crystals and some money and like this is the shit that immediately screams, "Oh, it's a mobile game." Like
it
it
is.
looks incredible, but it
I
starts to
wholly
immediately
agree with
scream
you.
that.
Sapling, I wholly agree with you with that one because I know how it feels. I genuinely do. Uh, what happened is it's like how should I say this? It's like here's an example. When is the last time a JRPG literally have had a pet that you can able to fight for you? Like last time I remember would have been is in Tales of uh, I forgot which tale it is, where it literally had a dog or a wolf with a sword. It's
Yeah.
like they 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 lost the passion into creating. Like I will always go to which game? Final Fantasy 15. How it was all dudes and and especially how Noctis literally every single style in the game which negate every single other character nihil. And the same and it's like where are the ladies? Where is the older dude that you know is gonna on some fuck shit? Where is it a pet? A robot, an animal, anything, a demon.
What you're running into is a lot of them were, and JRPG started to run into this for a while. Some of them, but a lot of them were playing it too safe. They weren't experimenting the way that they used to, which is why I said that a lot of people have a very downturned view of what a turn-based JRPG is over the last few years because a lot of them were really, just that typical. You did have the combat system in Final Fantasy 15, but then, like you said, the look, and then they struggled with some of the story elements and some of the other shit. They're supposed to be really strong um, in those games, and then you had the production value, which you mentioned at one point, was something like East. Like this game looks way better than East, and it's a mobile fucking game right now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's 10 times better than it, and it's a mobile game.
yeah. So I mean, they're definitely. But like I said, this game is also never going to go anywhere beyond mobile because the problem is, like you said, you're like, damn, I wish I could play this game and didn't have all the mobile bullshit in it. Um, and that's essentially what we eventually. That's why we stopped playing them because we were like, oh, this game looks incredible. All these characters, all these story arcs, and all this cool shit. And then it's drowned in this fuckery of free to play bullshit and mobile. And we were like, why didn't they just make this a normal JRPG? It would sell like crazy.
So I found Weeb. Go look on our group on Twitter, and you see a small clip of 26 seconds. That's what I'm talking about. And that just there are other characters that, but I didn't uh, videotape them. I just did these two just to show an example. Everyone
Also,
else
what up,
can
Link? I
watch
see you
it.
in the chat.
Sorry,
No, I was saying
I
what up to Link. I seen him in the chat.
I don't. Here's a good thing. I'm gonna see if I can put it in chat or put it on here. Let me see if I can open it some way. Um, uh, I really want to drive it home because this is what's happening with our industry now. Maybe it's because this one was created for PlayStation. I think the
So personally, what I would say about what you just showed me is part of what I explained is personally a thing that I don't like about most action RPGs. Like this, when the combat is action based, is that I told you it becomes really close to like a beat 'em up or a spectacle fighter, where the amount of moves or skill sets are also limited by the amount of combos and the way the combat system or the combo system or whatever is built into the game. And that shit would always drive me fucking crazy. Like, you can get super crazy with something like Devil May Cry and shit like that, but um, one of the problems with the most recent one was that the complexity of the combat, they basically had to implement like 5 different levels of the combat because it could get so overly complex in order for you to execute those skills. Like, most people weren't able to like achieve top tier S rank skill sets and stuff in the combat sequences without putting it on like an easier difficulty or something to execute those skills in order to get crazy. So the alternative is a more simplistic style one where, like you showed here, like a bunch of the skills look relatively the same, like a slightly more powerful version of the other one or whatever, this and that. And to me, that's something that I've always loved with a lot of um the JRPGs that I like that are turn based, is that you could just go as crazy as you fucking want to because there's no specific button mapping or whatever. You can have 200 skills per character if you fucking wanted to, you know, like, and you can always have that shit, manageable, I guess is the key thing. Not that all are like this, because Tails did a really good job of differentiating. And that's why I said, like, something like Tails, just to me, visually and like quality wise in the combat, just shits on the action based combat in this game. Like, I know some people really love the East games, but like the combat, like the fact that I actually loved the combat in the latest Tales, and it didn't get tiresome because the amount of skills that I had available
so
to me
uh, uh,
was really
I
good.
I want to say
I
about
think it's a big difference.
is
Slander,
one
slander.
second.
Hey, okay.
Is no, you go ahead, Weep, and then I will go after you.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, I'm not really convinced with your smoking gun because the first one are completely two different skills. So
No,
uh,
it's literally the same. It's poke
no,
and then a slash
it
and
literally it literally isn't. He uses thrust as a attack because he is a fencer. But the first one is a thrust. The second one is a repeating attack. So no, come on, Omar. Those are
then a
not the
thrust
same.
and then a thrust.
Yeah, I
But
mean, come on.
no,
They're not the same. And this makes
oh,
sense that you
okay. And
have
the
these
second
different
one,
attacks.
and the second
I
one.
mean, that makes sense to me what you're saying, we like, I'm not saying it doesn't, but I was like, that makes it less appealing to me based on what I'm looking at. But I know that's also not the entire skill set either.
No. It's not the entire skill set. It's just when I'm paying $60 for a game, you would expect it to have that quality. And
Oh,
I don't know.
you
Maybe it's because of
You
the
want more variety.
yeah,
oh,
yeah. Which is I have that same issue with Horizon. Like this is not a PlayStation. This is not this was also PlayStation. So
man, you're the nitpick champ, Omar.
no.
That was serious.
One of
By
the
the way,
reasons.
the
Yeah, go
gameplay
ahead.
is absolutely great for these games. I mean, I actually personally prefer that over Tales of Arise.
I actually I've yet to play Tales of Arise, but from what I've seen Tales of Arise, especially with Akira playing, shout out to Akira. Akira and also Persona and Bari and Humor. The way they were playing it, it almost felt like a, a fighting game. The way they would literally be juggling enemies and switch mid-combat to a different character and continue juggling the enemies. Am I wrong with that, Innate?
Nah, you could get some seriously ridiculous combos going. That shit was fire. And this is coming from someone that you actively knows, for the most part, usually cannot stand, active combat JRPGs, but that shit was flame. I loved it.
Yeah. Um, Weep, I'm now gonna go to you. Would you want uh, more variety and skills in your games? And why do you think mobile games are basically almost better than uh, console games?
Uh, well, the first one is a very uh, open-ended question because it or a leading question actually because you're suggesting there is not enough variety in the games that I'm playing, which I disagree with. At least the example you've given. I mean, there's plenty of variety in these games. So yeah, I mean it's obviously given the choice, I would like more variety, but I don't see it as an issue the moment. And as for mobile games, I mean, I haven't played many recently, so I mean, I do know that they have become better looking. Obviously, also because of the power of the devices they run on have become better. So naturally, games evolve there. But yeah, I'm with Innate that the problem with these games is that they do keep reminding you that they're mobile games with all the mechanics that unfortunately the AAA industry loves to copy, but then still sell you a $70 game. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I uh, would use mobile gaming as a full-fledged well, I wouldn't replacement, but companion to traditional gaming, like console gaming, PC gaming. Um, so I mean, it's great that these games have come that far in terms of how they look. Um, but I don't think they can really escape that that nature of mobile games. That they have to remind you of that
Mm,
watch this ad to get free in-game currency that you can use to speed up things or build things. Yeah, I mean, they're clearly aimed at to be designed to be consumed in a different way than we do games. I mean, they're designed to be played on the fly, and if you don't want to pay for it, you can wait until the next day, and then you can get it's done or whatever you want to
Mhm.
do. And that's easier done with a mobile game, of course, because you probably played it when you're in the train or whatever on the way to work, and then you're not going to continue playing that game when you're back home. So I don't think that ever will happen. That will be a full-fledged replacement for game, which is also why I don't really understand the entire appeal of like what Xbox is doing with their xCloud initiative, where they want to have people play games on their mobile device. I mean, they're obviously capable of that,
Yeah.
but I don't see people. At least I don't see myself doing that. I don't really, and I don't think most people play games on mobile devices play games that way.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I agree. The X Cloud thing definitely confuses the shit out of me because like people be acting like everywhere they go, they need to like bust it out and open the game. Like
Mm,
there's a lot of places where I don't want to do that. Number one, that drains the shit out of your battery, and
yeah,
I could just use that time while I'm waiting in line. I've done it before. Like I'm waiting in like a long ass line at Walmart or something, and I'll just bust out my phone for 2 seconds and like finish reading like the manhwa or whatever that I was reading on my phone, like that chapter or something. Like there's tons more stuff for me to or check Twitter or something else. Like there's a bunch of instances where I'm out. 90% of the time I'm driving and like I'm not
Like I just can't see where unless I had this ridiculous commute to work where I'm not driving, why I might even bother getting into like a full fledged game.
Mm,
Like so, yeah, that definitely confused the ever living shit out of me. And like you said with the mobile stuff, that's pretty much what I would do. I would get to work, set it up on my desk, run the dungeons or whatever, this, that, and the third, do this one thing, and then close it basically, or let it auto run itself while I did work and ran emails or something.
mm.
So that's, but it looked good, like Omar was saying, but it
No,
was
but
always just
no,
used as
but
that background cannon fodder for me.
but but the issue is it's not just it look good. It
Oh
has
no, the
mechanical.
stories and stuff like that, and the character development and all that stuff. I've seen a lot of that. The problem with that for me though is that again, the
It's a
mobile
mobile
portion
game. Yeah,
is so interfering in that it makes me not want to progress any further. Like, damn, this was really cool intro. The dragons flew from the sky. That shit looked like some shit from like the latest Final Fantasy trailer, and it looked amazing. And then I was like, oh, but then I got to do this daily login, and then I got to travel on this map over here to do this, so I can get some more gems, and then I got to
mm-hmm,
run this dungeon, which I can't run because I need to level up my weapon, and to level up my weapon, I got to log in 5 days more to get.
mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I feel like I guess the biggest benefit you could hope for from something like that is that some of these developers take some of these obviously quicker tools, whatever is being used to create some of these mobile games, and create some really dope full fledged games. Because there's a lot of these games, like you said, I'd play the shit out of them if
But
they were a full fledged $60 game, and all that mobile bullshit was removed.
but
And I'd be
what
like, oh,
we're
this would be a
actually
great game.
but what we're actually seeing is developers losing the console for mobile games. Look at no further than the one that created or worked on Yakuza games. He left. He literally didn't he leave and start his own mobile studio.
No,
I thought he left and went to another studio to make games,
He
but
left
just for
to.
another studio.
I thought he left and went to the mobile studio. I truly
you
thought
mean
he
you mean
did that.
Nagoshi?
Yeah.
No, he created his own studio. I think he left to NetEase, and they gave him his own studio.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, it's not a mobile studio. It's just a studio. So yeah, we don't know what it's gonna make, but it's gonna make I assume similar games that he has done before.
But yeah,
Gotcha.
some former studios have gotten bought by other companies and then are then making mobile games. I forgot. I looked up a company that used to make JRPGs the other day, and I forgot who they were bought by, but now they basically like their last three games they made were all mobile games. Like that's all they do now. So
Gotcha.
yeah, but that's a tough field too because market saturation in the mobile market is deadly as fuck as well. So you can die before you even get off the table.
Mm, with that being said, Morgan, I'm gonna find you and we'll end it here. How do you feel about what we discussed so far? And do you think we will ever see a bloom back in the console market in six?
I mean, honestly, there's nothing I can add that Weeb and Nate didn't already say. I pretty much agree with everything they said. And I honestly, if we're ever see a boom, I mean, that's a good question. I don't, I don't think so. Just because, as hopeful as that would be, I just feel like the way the industry is going and the way these casuals are set up, like it's just gonna keep getting worse, unfortunately.
You mean them Series S's flying off the shelf?
The world's greatest console, the Series S, right? And it's honestly, I'm not a fan of the way the industry's headed. I mean, that's why I am a PlayStation player. They cater to the type of games that I like, and the single player, story driven. Y'all can call them one and done, but I've played all my games multiple times. But
I never understood that one and done argument. Like you
yeah,
got
I've
not you guys. People
oh
love
yeah,
Fable. People play Fable. People want Perfect Dark to come back. People
but
want
listen, look,
Hellblade 2
all
to.
these Xbox dudes have a favorite game that's a single player game that they've played multiple times, and they will deny it, but they all do. I don't know where this idea that you only play a game once and you let it go. Some people do that. That's fine, but if I like a game and it really did something for me, I play it multiple times. I've played Ghost of Tsushima multiple times. I've played Spider Man multiple times. I've played The Last of Us 2 multiple times. If I like a game, I'm playing it multiple times. I don't care. Um, but yeah, I don't see the industry changing. I feel like it's just gonna get worse. And that's kind of sad, to be honest, because gaming's making more than it's ever had right now. So yeah.
Gotcha. With that being said, we come to the end of the show. A quick one. Well, Ghost is not here and K is not here, so and also the rec and link are not here, so that also take time.
Yeah, I was
Gray
going to add
Shop.
to that real quick before we end it
You know,
to
go
what
ahead.
Morgan said.
Go ahead.
Yeah, people trying to. I got to laugh at some of these people who like to call some of this shit one and done. Most of these people that be talking shit haven't put more time in Halo yet than I put in Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm. But if you speak,
Can you repeat what you just said? Cause I misunderstood it.
So, most of the people that are talking shit about single player story driven games versus multiplayer trash, um, that is ultimately usually repetitive as fuck for the record, have not put more time into Halo, which they swore they were going to play for 10 years and all this other crazy shit they were claiming, than I have put in Cyberpunk 2077, which is 168 hours.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be waiting 10 years for the rest of the game to come out.
the 10-year plan was. It was like it wasn't. Oh, we're gonna have 10 years of content. It's just it's gonna take us 10 years to finish this game.
So they can kick rocks with that bullshit. And um, to another point, Fox agreed with what Morgan said. If the product placement fits
What up,
into the
Fox?
world, that she agrees with Morgan that it wouldn't bother her. So something like The Last of Us or something like Coke cans or something laying around, it's fine. But yeah, also she has played The Last of Us probably about 27 times or some shit like that through. So yeah, and I've beaten Mass Effect 1 23 times, Mass Effect 2 11 times, and Mass Effect 3 4 times. So yeah, so these people they don't want to test that. Like when
Exactly.
you're talking about content available, enjoy something, whether or not how you enjoy something, whether or not it's one and done, that is such an egregiously mis like misleading term. Like that's not how that works. And all these people that were going, like you said, put 10 400 out. We always hear all these claims from Xbox dudes. Funny enough, Colt was saying how he was going to put hundreds of hours
Incredible.
in Crackdown, and everybody caught him, and he had played for like 43 hours or
And
something.
he said, "Yeah, God of War is a good game, but I'm gonna put hundreds of hours in Crackdown 3." Okay.
Yeah, and I rushed. Morgan watched me play start to finish, like pushing at like top speed through God of War, and I probably got more time in God of War than he got in Crackdown 3. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like everybody don't want to be trapped in these persistent worlds waiting on content updates. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I haven't done it when stuff was really good, and some of them are really good. Like Warframe, perfectly good example of a game that if you let it
it will suck every bit of time you give that piece of shit. I swear to God. Like
yeah.
I know somebody with like 6,000 hours in that bitch. And after they started to get more successful, well, they did what most companies should do. They released content so fast that you couldn't finish the shit before before they came out with more of it. So some of them really can't keep up with the community, all this other stuff, and and the microtransactions or whatever in the game and stuff like that are not so egregious. And they stuck to their word. Nothing in the game that benefits your character, um, like weapon wise and so on and so forth, like actual performance, is blocked behind real money. The only thing that literally is cosmetic shit. That's it. You can literally get everything else in game. So like stuff like that, they've really stuck to, and the game is fun in general, stuff like that. So you do get those, but yeah, the majority of them ain't competing with single player story driven games. And that's to your point, whether or not we'll see a resurgence. I think console gaming has shown that, specifically PlayStation has shown the growth and constant want and need for these consoles. They still can't keep them on the shelf. A bunch of people went out and basically emptied out the GameStops today because in the US we had in-store deliveries of PS5s, and people were lining up as early as 6 a.m. to go get them still. And like I think they're gonna show more and more reason for people to want that and keep them beside them. And PlayStation's current business model works well for that, and continuing to work with Square Enix and secure games and new experiences and rejuvenating experiences um, like the Front Mission First remake, and some of the other stuff we're seeing that is coming. It's honestly, I think we're on the right path. I think it looks crazy right now because there's so much new shit getting introduced into gaming, and we don't know where the fuck it's gonna go. But I mean, I think PlayStation's, you can't keep them on the shelf. So I think as long as they keep their eye on the ball like they always have, we'll all be in good hands as far as that shit goes. And I think we're gonna be all right, at least for the foreseeable decade. I think we're gonna be all right.
Gotcha.
Yep.
With that being said, anyone have anything else to add to it, Tom?
Yep. What's going on, everybody?
This man came in on the outros though.
You literally came in with the outro. I'm
Oh my
sorry.
god, Rick.
Rex showed up and was like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
let me
oh,
go ahead.
Where have
peace."
you been?
Man, I've been working. I've been just focusing on other things, man. But I am playing, still playing Horizon Forbidden West. I'm about to beat it and platinum the game. So
Nice.
today will be my platinum day for this game,
Nice.
and so I did all the arena, I did everything. Pretty much,
Victory. There you go.
yeah.
Hmm.
I put in over 100 some hours to it, over 140 some hours into it, and
Sir, but they say you could beat that game in a weekend though. That's not adding
shit,
up. That math ain't mathing. Hold up.
it's possible. It's possible. Run, speed run, but man, it's just
Okay, you
it's-
have anything you want to add to this entire conversation before I shut it down?
oh yeah, about everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Um, man, like I say, so many things happen. Oh, I'm not gonna get that. Oh, what's that? That game? Oh my God, I can't remember the name of it. Saints Row.
Oh, I didn't even talk about that, but go ahead.
Um, it looks good. It's taking shots at Cyberpunk, though. I can see little hints of it. But hey, I'll pass up on it. I'll get it later on when it comes out or whatever. But it's not day one for me. I always thought of Saints Row as a as overrated in a way, but not to where I played it before. But it just I'm not hyped for it. I'm not hyped for it.
I mean, it's always been the B tier, you know,
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto comic relief game.
yeah. Um, but other than that, man, I haven't really been too much. I've just been stick to myself most of the time. Playing different games and stuff. But
No doubt.
Welcome to Saint Row. How does it take shot at Cyberpunk 76?
oh, if you look at the trailer, how like certain things, it's just I can't explain it. Oh, I would have to rewatch the trailer again to fully
Okay, so
explain
I
it.
need to watch the trailer. Thank you.
Did,
Oh.
Cause
did you just call it Cyber Drunk?
yeah, it's Cyberpunk 76. So to explain my words, Cyberpunk is called it's literally Cyberpunk,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
the 76 part is just extra, cause you all know Fallout 76, right?
I'm not done.
So Cyberpunk 76, it's the perfect name. If
I got
hey,
you.
if anyone have a better name, I'm all ears.
Oh,
I think you nailed it.
yeah.
Do you know a better name in 8?
Nah, man, I'm gonna let you have that one.
Yeah. Mm.
I was expecting maybe a little bit pushback from you, but you know what Pokemon wanted to hold them, eh?
Bro,
He
you
knows
know
he
I'm
can't
built.
do that. It's
Bro, you
fine.
know I'm built different out here. I don't give a fuck if nobody else on this planet like that game.
Oh
I
no,
like
no,
that
we're just
game.
we're just
Yeah,
having fun.
you know I'm not
We're
like
just having
Xbox
fun.
fans out here. I'm not crying for validation. I'm good.
Oh no, no one,
Why
no
Oh,
one
don't you
here,
like
no
my
one here,
console?
no one here needs validation.
Hell nah.
It's just.
Facts.
okay. So,
But if Cyberpunk really pushed the industry forward, I would have given them the props, like they wanted to, and they fell flat on their faces.
mhm.
And with that being said, great show, Rek. Next time, if you can come 2 hours early, would be appreciative. Then you would have been able to, participate in the conversation.
Oh shoot.
But hey, work is more important. Not gonna lie, that's way more
Yeah.
important. So you get a pass with that one. Um, Great show. Let's do the outros. We're gonna start with you, Weeb, where people can find you.
I'm starting with me. Uh, yeah, you can find me on Twitter as Weep Sheriff, at Infinite Rhizome, and on YouTube as Blue Rhizome. And yeah, great show.
Thank you very much,
Oh,
Morgan.
and
Yeah,
Automation. Sorry.
where people can
Otter
find
Nation.
you.
Let's go. Hi everybody. Morgan, aka Chill Bandit, and you can find me on Twitter. As always, thanks for showing up. Thanks for coming through. Great topics as always, Omar. Love the panel. Love everybody. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Nate, where people can find you.
Yeah, just at the real Innate on Twitter or Innate on PSN, Steam, wherever. Always, as usual, keeping it gaming and keeping it moving. Let's go.
And Rek, where people can find you.
They can find me on Twitter as Wreckage, Wreck on the store age 89. And let's keep on gaming, y'all.
Gotcha. As for me, people can find me at Karaba_Chihab on Twitter and here Gameplayer and also Vitamin G podcast every Monday 8 p.m. And also what's called Anime Squad every Friday 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that being said, also shout out to Kay and shout out to Goat. Uh, and yeah, see you next week. We're out of here. Also, Shout out to PMF Jordan. She got her PlayStation 5 right now, and she is experiencing how difficult, not how difficult, how tedious it is to move your save if you don't have PlayStation Plus. Welcome to the. I I would rather have them do that than literally where you can't uh, use online if you don't have online. Well, they do. So
But
yeah,
fun fact,
yeah.
PC is allegedly not competition, yet a PC only player bought a PlayStation 5.
She wanted to play Demon Souls.
Isn't that ironic? Them exclusives don't matter, right? Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're not gonna go there. You know how it is. You know
mm-hmm.
how it is. With that being said, great show. We're out of here.